Lauren, I'm going to make a spaghetti bolognese at the weekend, but I'm going to have it with lettuce and not spaghetti. What the fuck? That's not a spaghetti bolognese. Welcome to our podcast, Fuck the Diet Cycle, with myself, Lauren Knight, and Abby Lodge. This is for you if you want to cut through the diet industry bullshit and finally end that cycle. Grab yourself a cuppa, get comfy, and let's dive straight in, shall we?
But this is what the diet industry and diet culture tells you, that if you are on a weight loss journey or whatever, that you can't have carbs and you can't, every meal that you have has to be a complete adaptation and using the most random stuff to make it that meal when it couldn't be any further from the truth. And when we think about the diet industry, right? Let's face it, it is a multi-billion pound, dollar, whatever industry. And what do they want to do? They want to keep people in this industry. The most like Googled thing is how to lose weight, how to lose weight fast, how to lose weight yesterday. So all of these things that are coming out, they're just myths and bullshit. Just because you're on a weight loss journey doesn't mean you can't have your spaghetti with your spag bowl. Doesn't mean you have to sit there when your family are eating a roast and you have a plain chicken breast, because that's depressing. Like, you can still have the conventional food, but what we teach is, yeah, you can still have it, but we're weighing it out and we're being mindful and we are making small little changes, but that doesn't mean that we're just having lettuce with a spag bowl.
And so those are real examples of clients that have come through the door and spoken to us. So they've started introducing more food and variety into their program. They've moved on to the next step, and she was dead serious. Like, she was like, I'm not going to have spaghetti with my spaghetti bolognese. And she was like, so you're telling me that I can have spaghetti and still lose weight? And I'm like, absolutely. And I'll be so upset if you don't have spaghetti with your spaghetti bolognese. And the reason why I say that, and Abby says this, everybody else up your family table is having a nice roast dinner or a spaghetti bolognese. We're just going to stick with these examples for a second. And there you are with this adaptation of your meal, and you're looking around and everybody's enjoying it, and you're kind of enjoying it. You've got a little bit there. But in your head, you're like, I wish. When can I? Should I be able to? If I eat carbs, that's a bad thing. It's not bad. That's what the diet culture has taught you, that spaghetti or roast potatoes or a Yorkshire pudding is bad. Nope. No, it's not. The portion size can be detrimental to your weight loss journey. So you just need to be mindful. So Abby spoke to her client about roast. I spoke to my client about spaghetti bolognese, and just being mindful of your portion. So when you're making spaghetti bolognese, knowing that the mince is the protein, you can bulk it out with a side salad if you want, but having a portion of spaghetti on your plate for the designed amount and having a balanced meal is spot on. The same for a roast dinner. You can enjoy all the elements of a roast. You just don't need to pile it up into a mountain.
And that's the thing, it comes down to portion sizes and what we have been taught. Like, I remember back in the day, like, we're just going for a rice here. Like, it happens to everyone. When you cook a portion of rice, God, you can feed China with the amount of rice that comes out. And then you think, I've got to stop laughing. I've got to eat all that. No, you don't. Actually looking at how many calories are in per serving and working it out and eating just that amount so that you are having the same meal as your family and things. And it's not bad and you're not terrible and you've not fallen off your plan. And, you don't need to restrict. So many people say, I have to cut carbs to lose weight. Why? Carbs are energy. Where are you getting your energy from? Like, you must be really tired if you're not having carbs. Where the problem with energy comes is when you are overloading on the carbs, when you are filling up on the things like the pasta, on the things like the potatoes, and let's face it, we all know about that, and that being free, that's where the energy issue happens, because you're having too much. But learning, and that's what we coach our clients from day one, is having a look at those portion sizes, changing your plate size and all things like that, so that you can have the same meals that your family are having, just in smaller sizes, and actually taking into consideration what you're eating, the things that are going on in your mouth and your senses and all things like that, to appreciate that food. And then before you know it, you're like, I've just eaten a spag bowl and I really enjoyed that. As opposed to I've just eaten some bolognese with some lettuce and that tasted like shit.
And what happens when it tastes like that and you feel
You
disappointed
feel
by the
like a
meal?
binge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You go to the cupboard or you go to the fridge and you're searching for that satisfaction that you didn't get at that meal because actually it's let you down and rightly blooming so. It's let you down.
Yeah.
And that's why even Abby, who can't cook, we have been really focused on creating some tasty, yummy recipes to show you that actually you can really enjoy food guilt free and still lose weight. And then on the flip of that, maintain and still enjoy everything that's going on. And like Abby just touched base on, letting your senses get involved in that,
Mhm.
looking for the crunch. What does it smell like? What does it look like? I mean, if Abby's serving it up, we have to just close our eyes. But all jokes aside, like both of us on our Instagram channels, the links in the description, little plug there, we have so many recipes for you to choose from. And you'll notice that none of the recipes have anything cut out. Some have got cheese pulls, some have got carbs. Most of them are high in protein because that's really
Yeah.
important to keep you fuller for longer. But we have all of the other elements too because we want that satisfaction. We want you to enjoy your food and we want you to be able to stop in that moment and go, that was bloody lovely. I'm satisfied
Yeah.
now. Let's move on.
And there is nothing better than actually having something that you know you're going to enjoy and being satisfied because we've all been there when we've sat there with the most boring, blandest salads and you're eating it and you're thinking, I'm just might as well be a rabbit at this point. You're not satisfied. You feel so angry afterwards because you're like, you look at everybody else and just think, oh, I wish I could have that, or whatever, I'm never gonna be able to have that. No, you can. If you're gonna make your weight loss journey like hell and basically like food prison, it's gonna be hell and it's gonna be like food prison. Instead, start experimenting with the flavors and the textures and all these things and start putting these meals together that you think, wow, and I'm just still gonna lose weight on that. That is the main thing, is actually not looking at these food groups as they're going to make me gain weight, they're bad for me, blah, blah, blah. No food is good or bad. No food has that moral kind of compass attached to it. It's what we've attached to it. It's what diet culture has attached to it to make you feel like it's bad. And let's face it, there is a plan out there that does use quite a derogatory term in terms of how it names certain foods, without giving too much away. And that in itself makes you feel like you're doing something bad.
Yeah.
So
And also, if we're going to stay on this topic of good and bad food, if we're literally going to look at it like that and not look at a balanced diet, and I'm not talking about diet to lose weight, I'm talking about diet as in general. If you were to live on bananas because they are good food, that's not sustainable. That's not giving you all of your nutrients you need. That's not giving your body what it needs for the fuel. So, how does that work when it comes to labeling food? Like, that is another myth and lie that the diet industry tell you, and it just makes you feel guilty. It makes you feel scared of food, guilty when you eat something that's really flipping tasty and you're questioning whether or not you should be doing it. Yes, you should. If it fits within your path, if it fits within your program, you're not eating it for therapy and you're sitting down and enjoying it and socializing and having family time or all of those things, it's okay. You're allowed to enjoy guilt and you're allowed to enjoy food guilt free without that little voice in your head saying you're fucked up.
and the thing is, people are so scared to do it. But what they don't realize is the more that you do experiment, the more that you push yourself out there with having the carbs and things that you've always counted as good, bad, indifferent, the more that you get used to it and the more that it becomes your new normal. And then you look back and go, God, do you remember when I used to call pasta bad? Now look at my meal. I've got pasta, I've got carbs, I've got, all of these things. You have to keep practicing it and practicing it and practicing it because the first few times it's going to feel odd because diet culture has alienated these things to be bad. So it's going to feel like you're doing something wrong. But the more that you do it, the more it becomes your new normal. And then before you know it, you're like, oh, this is what food freedom is. Being able to eat all different types of foods, and foods that you enjoy, and actually having the balls to stand up and say, I thoroughly enjoyed that. and actually enjoying that. I'm not talking about when you have 10 cakes and you shove them down your neck and you say you enjoyed that. No, you didn't. You're not tasting it. But actually having the ability to say, I thoroughly enjoyed that. And that is okay because, like you said, you can enjoy food.
And what happens there? When you actually are enjoying your food genuinely and you're in touch with your senses and you're allowing your brain to gut access, talk to each other, you're able to put your knife and fork down without smashing through the plate once you've got to that satisfied feeling. You're able to draw the line and walk away and go, actually, do you know what? That was lovely, but I'm getting full now. When you allow all of that to happen, rather than feeling guilty and going, oh, I better get rid of this food, you've got more control. And another thing that I just want to add to this episode is don't be fooled by the labels on certain food as well. So again, the diet industry, I'm talking about brands that are out there that have jumped on this high protein culture that trick you with their marketing when a lot of you, and this isn't in a derogatory way, don't quite understand how much protein per 100 grams, for example, is actually good. They slap on the front that it's high in protein. You grab it going, oh, yes, this is good for me. I'm going to go and do that. When actually they've put the minuscule amount of protein, they've whacked up their sugar to make it taste nice. So again, it's being aware of what's in your food. Doesn't make it bad. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just make sure you're aware of what you're picking off the shelf, because again, it's deeming that as, yeah, but protein's going to keep me fuller for longer, so therefore I must be able to eat that, without really putting in the work and education that you need to just check.
And nothing like that comes for free. You have to put in the work and education if you want to get anywhere in your life.
Thank you for listening. If you loved it, don't forget to press that subscribe button and the little bell so that you never miss a future episode. We will be back here with a new one on Sunday at 7 a.m. We'll see you there.